how's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Cosmic Download. My name is Jace. Let's start the session with a little bit of sound bowl. And I'm going to burn a little bit of local Arizona chaparral. It's been my favorite smudging material lately. Very strong stuff, if you've ever used it. Very particular smell. But if you hang it in your shower, it kind of smells like a desert rain, which is really cool. But yeah, welcome you guys. Welcome everyone that's here. Claudette, welcome Dennis, welcome Gary, welcome Cheshire, welcome Brad, Jan, welcome Galactivation, welcome Brooklyn, welcome Riley, Francesco. Yeah, if audio is all good, can you guys give me, let's do an alien emoji. And if you can't do an alien emoji, you could just put a number 1 in the chat if audio and stream quality is all good. I'm trying a slightly lower latency stream today, meaning less time between when I'm talking and when it's like showing up for you guys. But hopefully that's not going to affect performance at all. But let me know if it does, if it gets glitchy at all, and I will try to fix it. So yeah, welcome. Happy Saturday. Hope you guys are having a great March 13th. This is one of those days that I've kind of been looking forward to, just, I don't know, as like a synchronistic energy kind of number. A lot of days in March I know have been key dates that people have been looking out for, but the 11th and the 13th were the ones that I was kind of feeling like, not necessarily like something big in public would happen, but like energy-wise, significant things would be going on. And, woke up today and saw that, at least for us, our stimulus had hit our bank. So that was a good kind of nice way to start the day. And I'm sure a lot of Americans are waking up today seeing stimulus in their accounts, and it's a nice feeling. So that was cool. That was like maybe what I was tapping into, and the crypto markets are really up today. So that's good as well. And yeah, we're going to talk about a little bit of everything today, like normal. Thanks for everyone who put the emoji in the chat. Awesome. Welcome everyone who's coming in now. Yeah, we're going to talk about the potential of real estate on crypto and with decentralized finance. Not just the potential, but the actuality. They're actually building it. There's already a company. We're going to talk about what that means. We're also going to go over a couple of different recent, just ate some pears, so I have a little bit of pear burp right now. We're going to go over some news stories with XRP and crypto in general, and Ripple, and just a couple of stuff. And then we'll talk about this company called Palantir, which I didn't put in the description or the title because I only decided to add it like late last night. But Palantir, we're going to talk about, which is essentially the company that I think might be working with the Looking Glass. So stick around for that part. That'll be cool. And then we're going to talk about the new Southparq episode and, everything that they disclosed in there and all the little gems in that, which I'm going to save that for the end. So that way, if you haven't seen it, you don't have to worry about spoilers in the beginning. So if you haven't seen it, you could just tune out at the end when I start to talk about the spoilers. And then we're going to talk about samurai synchronicities and how samurais have been popping up symbolically in my life a lot lately in various ways. And I'm curious if you've been getting samurai synchronicities too. And then I want to give a shout out to my wife, Alexis of Ascension Diaries, who's going to be going live right after me. We decided to do a new thing and try both streaming the same day of the week, Saturdays, one after another. So I'm going to do my stream for 2 hours or less, probably less this time. Last ones have been kind of long, but less material to cover this time. And then she's going to jump on around when I finish. So make sure to catch that over on her channel. And welcome, Kayla. Welcome. We got another Rage. There's Riley Rage, and then there's Rage on the track. We got to have a Rage party. There's a lot of Ragers in the chat. All right. Let's jump into crypto prices for the day. Let's see where everything's at. So I decided to move my little green screen guy to the other side of the screen so you guys could see over there a little bit more, because in the past videos my big old fat face was kind of just covering all that part up, and I realized that wasn't very practical. So now you can see the prices a little better. We can even zoom in. Again, this is coinmarketcap.com. It's kind of my go-to bookmarked tab for just looking at crypto. If you make an account with them, free account, just email, you can actually simulate how you simulate your portfolio just by manually entering it in. You could put that you have $1 million in. It's just like a simulated portfolio, but it allows you to put everything that you have in different places that you have invested throughout different wallets and exchanges, and you can look at them all in one place. So you just manually enter, how much you have on Uphold or how much you have on of whatever coin, and then every day you can look at your consolidated total like portfolio balance, and you can highlight which cryptos you want to look at, so you don't have to look at Bitcoin every time, because not all of us want to look at Bitcoin. But positive for Bitcoin, Bitcoin reached $60,000 all-time high today, which is big news for Bitcoin and good news for the market overall, because crypto, all the coins basically in one form or another are tied to the Bitcoin price in a way, at least for the moment. We've seen XRP start to separate and decouple from the Bitcoin price, which is really exciting, meaning typically when Bitcoin goes up, the rest of the market goes up, and when Bitcoin goes down, the rest of the market goes down. But over the past year, we've seen XRP start to decouple in many instances, where it'll be the only one on the market going in the direction that it's going, whether that's up or down. So the decoupling is something to kind of watch out for. And with this new all-time high, we've passed former resistance levels, meaning we were hitting resistance at that 60 or high $50,000 level, and now we've hit that new all-time high. So we could see it go up indefinitely, maybe another, I don't know, could be another 5, 10, 20,000. A lot of the price analysts are thinking it's going to go up to like 70 or 80,000 on the conservative side. And of course, the Bitcoin maxis, who I don't think you should necessarily listen to, but they are good information to take in anyway. They think Bitcoin's going to be going to like 1 million. And I just happened to hit my sound bowl, so maybe that's a synchronicity telling me that that's true. But either way, I personally don't hold any Bitcoin. You guys know why. I think it's mainly cabal controlled, and the CCP has primarily control over Bitcoin miners. So that's a big issue for me, and I don't necessarily want to put my energy into that. And I just think for investment reasons too, there's a lot of red flags with Bitcoin and in the future. So XRP is my main one, obviously. But yeah, Ethereum also pretty sure hitting new all-time highs at 1,900. Binance coin coming in third with market cap. Now XRP is down to 7th. XRP used to be third in market cap as well, until the deep state attacked it, and SEC lawsuit, and all the exchanges that voluntarily took it off their exchange out of fear because they're part of the cabal. And now look, it's down at 7th, where it used to be third for several years, and actually teetered up to second in market cap sometimes, passing Ethereum. Market cap meaning how much money is flowing through at any moment. So yeah, that's where we're at with crypto. And let's get into talking about the real estate opportunities. So just to preface, the story here is that recently the creator, the head of Flare Networks, not Flare Finance, but Flare Networks. Flare Finance has anonymous people behind it for reasons I've talked about. I think that there are probably prominent people that don't want their names out there. But with Flare Networks, the umbrella network, it's got a CEO, and his name is Hugo Filion. And so in a interview recently, he said that they had a bunch of new decentralized applications that were being built on the Flare network even before the Flare network is launched. So this is really exciting, and you could say bullish for the Flare networks and the Spark token, which we've talked about. That's the trailer that I did, which had the giant letter Q and the JFK quote and all the secret space program symbolism. That was technically Flare Finance, but Flare Finance is a decentralized application being built on the Flare network. So this is the great thing with DeFi, decentralized finance, is that you can have all these different third-party applications built onto the network. And so he announced that they actually had a decentralized real estate company, or I don't know if they're actually a company or an organization or what, but a group of people that were building a decentralized real estate portal on Flare networks, which when I first heard it, like really got my gears going, because I had a Vedic reading once that said that I was going to be involved in real estate in one way or another, and it was related to space. is what I was told. Space real estate. And so I've been kind of just keeping my eye out for that. And then when I heard real estate on the Flare network, I was like, wow, what could that actually mean? Like, what does it mean if you have decentralized real estate? Well, it basically cuts out the middleman. It basically takes away the real estate agent or company as a middleman between you and settling the actual contract. So let's jump into this a little deeper. Now, the company that I'm guessing it is this company called Propy. And I'm assuming it's this company because Flare Network's Twitter page recently followed this page. And, they had just made that announcement about the decentralized real estate. So pretty safe to say I think this is the one. They're called Propy Inc., and they say reinventing real estate closing, consumer interface for transactions for agents and brokerages, settlement for high-value assets on smart contracts. Okay, so not necessarily getting rid of agents, but maybe redefining what it means to be an agent with having smart contract capability. And to re-explain what smart contracts are for those that are new to that, smart contracts are a cryptocurrency terminology that refers to the ability to do advanced transactions with cryptocurrency. So the basic example would be Bitcoin versus Ethereum. Bitcoin is not a decentralized finance currency. It is decentralized, but it's not decentralized finance, which is its own definition. And Ethereum pioneered decentralized finance, essentially, which means that instead of basically it's all network peer-to-peer based, where you can have like an exchange that isn't owned by a private company, and you can have direct loans between the giver of the loan and the receiver without the bank in the middle or anyone telling you how to do it. It's run by something called smart contracts, and these smart contracts are what give the ability to do more complex type of transactions. Rather than just sending, say, Bitcoin from A to B, you can now do more complicated and easy like transactions. So like one of the other benefits is you don't have to copy and paste your recipient and receiving address every time like you do with like Bitcoin or XRP. With DeFi, there's like these other smart contract things that are people can code in where you can just click like connect or send, right? It makes crypto easier and more accessible. So smart contract real estate, that's like huge. And let's pop over to their website and look at that too to see what it says. Amy says, that's an awesome Synchronicity real estate. Welcome, Amy. Good to see you. I wonder if my husband is tuned in. Yeah, you should ask him. Yeah. So Synchronicity, what is the Synchronicity? Were you thinking about real estate this week? Jay St. letting no one censor him, saying all the evil tech overlord trigger words. It's true. That's that's probably why I'm so shadow banned on here. But I just like sometimes I kind of given up on trying to censor myself. I'll do it on other people's channels who aren't already deeply shadow banned, but I already know that they're doing it here. So what's the point? Might as well just speak my throat chakra and let it all out. Okay. So here's their website, propy.com, Propy, if you want to check it out, .com. It says multiple offers, multiple transactions, one solution. Propy solves your multiple offer and real estate transaction problems simply and seamlessly. So imagine being able to like close a real estate contract totally like digitally without ever having to interact with a person or the loans and the banks and mortgages and like, personally, I've never owned a home. I'm only 25 and I haven't bought my first home. And it's always been this intimidating thing looking at this housing market and real estate and like all the complexities of it. And it's never resonated with me. I've just never felt called to, I don't know. It's just, it's an old corrupt system, I feel like. And obviously, like we know that. So to have the opportunity, like as someone my age who is, going to be getting into my own real estate in the near future, it's nice to know that I will be able to do it through something like this and completely go around the old system and not have to deal with the banks and not have to deal with mortgages and all that stuff. And like, I'm assuming there will still be like maybe mortgages in the form of cryptocurrency loans, but they're not going to be traditional mortgages in the way that the banks laid them out. I believe they're going to be much more in favor of the people, because that's what DeFi is all about. It's all about everything is run and governed by the people on the network. This is something I've been explaining to people in my one-on-one sessions I've been doing too, is like the true power of DeFi and oh man, total brain fart. I had a thought and I got away from the internet and then total brain fart. But the, let's see, what was I going to say? The ability with DeFi, I think I was going to get at like I don't even know. I'll come back to it, whatever. Back to the internet. So yeah, one system to do it all for you. From the moment you receive a listing all the way to closing the deal, Propy real estate transaction management software does everything for you all in one place. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. There we go. So one thing I've really been discussing with people in the one-on-one sessions I've been doing, which if you're interested, you could check out the link below and just send me an email. I've been explaining the power of oh, jeez. Brain fart again. The self-governing aspect of DeFi and how this is actually scalable to things beyond the financial sector, how it's actually scalable to governance in general, which is really incredible. So like I've talked about how blockchain technology is being applied to things outside of the financial system, like voting, and how one example is that Ripple is working with MIT on a project called Votes, VOATZ, which was actually brought up in the Arizona hearings these past couple months. And Votes is a blockchain voting system that is, not able to be manipulated, not able to be hacked. It's blockchain. It makes it completely secure, completely transparent. Nothing can be done shady to it like private voting systems. So blockchain voting is one example of how like these governance systems can apply. And the way that Flare networks and Flare Finance are laid out is so beautiful, because it it not only brings the best of DeFi from Ethereum and the other DeFi, but it really gives the ability to it creates this beautiful self-governance system that rewards the users of the system. So you're essentially, if you're a user of the Flare network, in the future when it goes live in, say, the next year, if you're a user and you hold Spark tokens or other assets on the Flare network and you're like staking them and using them, you are essentially a citizen of the Flare network community. And it really is like citizenship, because you have a vote towards the network in the direction with the network, depending on how much you hold on the network. So obviously, if you hold a very little bit, you have little vote. If you hold a lot, you have more vote. But it's the users of the network who have the most voting power. And you actually get rewarded for voting. So one example of the passive income opportunities with, say, just the Spark token by itself is that by holding the Spark token and using it to vote on governance of the network, which will happen in the form of basically just like polls on a website where you just vote on how you want things to go, basic voting, you get rewarded with Spark tokens. So it gives incentive to participate in the network in a fair and accurate way, because that basically this gets more detailed, but the more aligned that your votes are with certain things, like so there's the voting and decisions, but then there's also like reporting of basically what any asset is worth, and like reporting data to the network of other assets, which you can also get rewarded for. And just by doing that, you receive benefits. So imagine if you got paid for voting for the president. Imagine what that would change for society if we got paid to vote for president. Can you imagine how many more people would vote? People would actually care. What somebody brought up in one of my sessions was that it would get rid of apathy. It would get rid of this lack of like sense of motivation and importance in our society. Like, I grew up being totally disillusioned from the USA and the government and wanting to vote and not caring about our flag and like totally disillusioned. Obviously because the DS was running it and I could pick up on that even as a kid. But like, if people were paid to vote, that would be huge. And so that's what this is bringing forward. And that's why I think this Flare networks we're talking about and DeFi in general could scale to things that are way bigger than finance. And they allude to that in one of their trailers where they show like all the sacred geometry and basically allude to that the geometry behind the network mimics the geometry of sacred and natural law in real life, which is just a beautiful concept. And I think it helps alleviate a lot of the fears that people have when going over to cryptocurrency from the old banking system in terms of like NWO AI type takeover. It to me, it alleviates those fears. And yeah. Anyway, checking with the comments. Brooke said, I had a one-on-one session last week and it was so helpful. I highly recommend if anyone on here wants to learn more about this crypto world. Yeah, we had a great session. And I saw that you sent me an email about the Flare network thing, so I will get back to you today about that. And yeah, if anyone else is, if you're new to crypto, or if you're just like, for a lot of people with the sessions, it's just the basics of getting it set up, like how to get your first purchase set up, how to even make an account with one of these exchanges and what you need. And then if you've already got that done, then how to send money from one account to another, how you can send your friend money, and then where you can store your money, where is the most secure way to store your crypto. So those are all kind of the basic things that we go over. And if you're already proficient in all that and you're just looking for more of like to, I don't know, pick my brain about other topics or really anything, that's totally cool too. And there's been people that I talked to with these sessions that were totally proficient in crypto, and they just wanted to like talk more about like the philosophical side of it and like where things might be going. So if you're interested in that, that's down in the description below, and I'm asking for like a $50 minimum donation in crypto, which is I think a cool concept because I'll get you all set up to the point where you can send the crypto, and that's kind of like you passing the test. So you can donate via crypto, and then from there forward, you'll know how to make your own purchases and send money to other people and where to store it and all that. So email me down below if that calls to you, and I would love to help. I've cleared all my sessions from this week, did way more than 5. Like I said, I think I did like 10, which is fine because they were a lot of fun, and it was so great to connect with people, and like helping people on this stuff really makes my heart happy because I think there's such an opportunity right now that if you can get in on, it's a great opportunity. And I just want to make sure that everybody has equal footing in the door for that opportunity and that everyone is on the same page. Amy says, the term self-govern has become very prevalent in my life in our home. We are learning so much. That's awesome. Hey, OG. Oh, good. Brooke says she's up and running with the beta. Awesome. Well, while we're talking about Flare and the beta, I'll just pull it up real quick for you guys to see, to give you a little more of a taste of how decentralized finance works and how you can actually make passive income opportunity just by holding crypto on one of these networks, particularly with Flare. So this is Flare Finance. You could technically go to this website as well, but I don't think it would let you do anything. So yeah, like you'd have to be all signed up with the beta to actually use it. So you saw on the top right, I just clicked connect, and that's basically how I log in. It connects to my smart wallet, my MetaMask wallet. In the future, it'll not be MetaMask, but their own version. And that's equivalent to logging in. So no passwords, no usernames, no memorization. It's blockchain syncing. Just click connect and the blockchain syncs. Now, it is having trouble loading the pools here. So maybe it's possible that the network they're working on the network right now. So let's just come back to that then. We'll try that again later. But the basics are that you have 3 tools here: swap, wrap, and farm. Swap is the typical exchange, but it's a DeFi exchange, right? So no company is running it. Nobody is making, no centralized authority is making the fees on this. The fees from the exchange all go to those who have staked into the network. So this is where the self-governance of it comes in really well. So typically on a exchange like Binance or even Uphold or Coinbase, the company, private company, is making all of your fees on all of your transactions. However, with DeFi, the average person like you or me becomes the new fee collector, and you collect fees by investing in these pools, these liquidity pools, which is what the farm function is over here, which I wish would load, but yeah, we'll try it again visually later. But the basics are that you are able to take your tokens on the Flare network, and there's a variety of tokens, and you can stake them into the farm to gain passive income. And so you're essentially putting your money into the public pools that now act as the reservoir for other people who are trading on the network. And then, so say if I choose to stake, like me personally right now, I'm in a YFin, YFlare liquidity pool. So what that means is that every time somebody trades YFlare for YFin, I get a percentage of that fee. And so I get paid. And then there's other things you can do with that too, but that's kind of just the basics. So like with Spark, just by holding Spark and participating in the network, passive income. With this, you can stake your tokens, different tokens, passive income. So with just Flare alone, there's like so many different ways to make passive income just by putting some value, some like money into the network and holding it there in whatever places. And that's the whole strategy of this beta, is that they're testing us and they're testing the system to see how well it functions and to see where the weaknesses are and the stress points. And then we'll see this live for everybody to use publicly in hopefully in the next couple months. They say May or June. Yeah, that's exciting. So let's talk about glitches. XRP glitches. I'm going to go over the comments real quick first. Did you see that Flare are saying goodbye to their cost on network? Issues on Twitter. Oh, that must be what it is. Okay, I haven't checked in with the Discord since last night. So thank you for telling me that. They're saying goodbye to their cost on network. Interesting. Well, that's got to be the issue. I'm going to have to jump on the Discord after this and get caught up. Dennis says, what if you're a total absolute dummy in all this like me? Book a session with me. I will help you out. We can just go over the complete basics of what everything is. Answer any questions you have. Just send me an email. divinesovereignbeings@gmail.com. Ether Revival says, what do you think about HBAR? It's similar to XRP, right? Okay, this is a great question and controversial because, yeah, I have a different opinion than a lot of the people that I'm friends with in this community. And HBAR is interesting because it's a network called Hedera Hashgraph, which is technically not a blockchain, but it's a new network, a hashgraph network that operates similar to blockchain, but it's different. It's more private. It's not as public, which is one of the issues that I have with it. The main red flag for me is that it's governed by the world's largest companies like Google, Boeing, and then like a dozen others, really big companies. And they have the governance over the network. So as opposed to Flare or XRP, where the users of the network have governance over the network, or even Bitcoin. With HBAR, the users are not governing the network. It's all from these big companies. And so that's where I'm like, okay, big red flag for me. Now, that's not to say it's not going to be really successful and make good returns and possibly be really big. Their big thing that they're advertising is that they're going to be doing tokenized securities, which basically means tokenizing, which is basically like turning into a form of cryptocurrency. They're going to be tokenizing stocks, securities, which will probably make the stock market more accessible and liquid. But that's the whole timeline I'm very discerning and skeptical about. And even though HBAR could be a really good investment opportunity, I personally don't. I want to put my money where I feel confident in the energy of the people doing it, right? And so when I look at XRP, I look at Brad Garlinghouse and David Schwartz, and lots of other people, but them being the two primary ones, and they radiate light to me. Like when I look at them, they radiate light. And when I look at the HBAR founder, creator, he's a very dense individual, very dense aura. And that on top of being backed up by all these big companies. And I just personally don't get great vibes about the intentions. But I could be wrong. I could just be picking up, I could just be looking at the surface and saying, oh, they're owned by these big companies, and so they must be deep state. Yes. Ban me. I dare you. But, it's always possible that they could have been taken over by white hats when all these big companies' CEO resigned when Trump was in office, and record number CEOs. And it's possible that white hats could be running it now. Totally possible. I'm just staying discerning about that. And everybody that I've seen talk about HBAR doesn't seem to want to talk about that part of it. They just kind of want to talk about the utility of it, which is awesome. Like the utility is great, but the energy behind it, I don't know. So that's my take on HBAR. I was also watching a video today talking about how HBAR is actually a quantum mathematics theory term, which I'm going to have to do more research into and see how that applies to like everything I just said. But HBAR is actually like a mathematical constant or something for some kind of quantum figure. And everything is private on HBAR network too. Whereas like XRP Ledger, everything is public. That's why the central banks are skeptical to use XRP in its native form, because they don't want to be public. They don't want to have all of their transactions be public for everybody to see. But that's the beauty of blockchain, is that public ledgers are transparent. And I believe that's what we need. So this is where I talked about, I think in my last one, how Ripple has created a cloned private version of the XRP blockchain ledger just for the central banks to essentially dip their toes in and warm up to, because they want to use it because they know it's going to be huge for them. It's a vastly superior technology to SWIFT, the SWIFT system that they're using right now. And they want to use it, but they don't want to be public. They don't want to be transparent. And, that's the game, right? That's the direction we're going as a planet. More transparency, more like things are visible. There's no more illusion. We're moving to a place where the third eye is turned on for everyone and you see things for what they are. And that's why I believe that the central banks have to be put on the same playing field as us. They can't just arrest them all and like bankrupt them all and just be like, hey, these guys were evil and now you have to no longer use them. I really believe in the power of free will, and that free will must be maintained for people on the planet. And that means putting everybody on an even playing ground, like from the poorest person to the richest person, and central banks and all that, to the person living in their van like I used to, and putting them on the same even playing field in the same playground to work with. And then now with free will, we have the opportunity to no longer choose that old timeline. But maybe some people will. Maybe some people will continue to use the central banks and the services they provide because it's better for them. Like maybe they do provide a service that people like now, but it's really going to be like the free market, free will. It'll be a new version of the free market. It'll be a new version of capitalism that doesn't have all the tainted old capitalism issues. And we're not going to call it capitalism. I think that's the closest thing to compare it to. But free will is important, and putting everybody on the same playing field and allowing people to choose where they want to go and where they want to put their energy, both financial and spiritual energy. Which is where I think we're going to have this huge ecosystem of hundreds potentially of currencies where we might not even have a standard anymore, where like what I picture is, imagine every cryptocurrency is backed up by gold or one heavy metal in one form or another, every single one, so that it doesn't really matter which you hold, but you're going to want to hold the ones that have more utility. So if both Bitcoin and Flare are, say, backed by gold in one form or another, well, I'd rather hold the Flare, because Flare, being on the Flare network and having my money there, is going to give me all these passive income opportunities, whereas Bitcoin is simply a storage of value. So that's where you get the difference in kind of the energy esoteric perspectives of what you can do with this. And once we have a truly free market, a free, healthy, I picture a torus field of an ecosystem of spiritual energy and physical energy, which we call money right now, but these becoming more of a fluid concept where we put our energy in the places that we believe and want to see prosper on the planet, in the projects, in the people, in the spaces, even the companies, or whatever it turns out to be. But it's going to be like we no longer have this scarcity of tangible energy in the form of Babylonian money magic, and we now have this freely flowing divine economic system that resembles a healthy torus field that is constantly optimizing. Whereas right now our torus field has a tapeworm in it from the corrupt financial system. But right now that tapeworm is being removed, and the funds are starting to flow throughout the system, throughout the torus field. And that's the economic reset. That's the financial reset. Whatever form it takes, whether it's Nasara, Jasara, QFS, whatever label people want to put on it, I highly doubt it's going to be called any of those things officially, but that the removal of the tapeworm in the torus field and the flowing of economic prosperity and spiritual prosperity to people all over Earth, that is the financial reset. And that's what's happening right now, that is starting, and it's just going to keep building, I think. And who knows if there's going to be some kind of big market collapse. Like that could happen. Maybe it won't. I keep feeling more and more that we moved from a timeline that was this like black swan event, market collapse, everything falling. And it's like, I feel intuitively we've moved to a timeline that is a smoother, more, just smoother timeline that doesn't involve those huge shifts that could be really damaging to some people and shaky. I think we've gotten onto a smoother timeline where things are going to play out in very divinely synchronistic ways that we couldn't have even really fathomed. Brooke says, question about Discord. Had the invite link, clicked it and created an account, but once I created the account, I lost access to the Flare Finance group. So then I went back and clicked the original link, but it said it expired. I struggle with Discord too. I only have it for that, and I don't really know how to use it that well, so I might not be the best person. But hit me up after this, and we'll see if we can get the Discord working for you. Earthworth says, it's true. David and Brad are lighthouses. You're right. The energy behind it when you see Google, IBM, Boeing, etc. Yeah. And like I said, you can always make the counter argument that the white hats have taken over. But when I look at the energy of like HBAR and the guy who created it, it's just so much more dense than XRP, which the energy field of XRP, when you tap into it, feels like this very fluid quantum financial system that is almost like alive and conscious. And HBAR feels very like metallic and like Android. Like one of the people I had a sessions with literally said it's like when they think of HBAR, they taste metal in their mouth. And I was like, ooh, I like that. Like the blending of the senses. And I totally resonate with that. It is like a metallic taste. Whereas XRP, if I was going to describe XRP in taste form, it'd be like a sweet, creamy deliciousness that is just fluid and like creamy, like the best ice cream you've ever had, whether it's vegan ice cream or regular ice cream. Like it's like that, like, oh, like creamy and delicious and sweet. Maybe that's kind of weird. But I'd rather have that than metal in my mouth. No metal. Mystic Macrophage says, I was 100% all about XRP until I heard Brad Kimes talk about how Ripple was creating partnerships with the IMF and central banks around the world. If they're still about the people, what's that all about? Okay, so this is something that if you go back on my channel and you check out the video that's called XRP Quantum Financial System, I'll see if I could pull it up right now. I go into that more in detail. It's like a 40-minute video or something. And I go into that in more detail, why I think despite the central bank alliances and stuff. But essentially the gist is I think it's war strategy. I think it's the art of war. And I think it's 5D, 12D chess. And I think that it's so complicated, but it's like it was the Trojan horse to get this financial system to the people in a way that it wouldn't be automatically shut down by the DS, by the cabal, which they're trying to do now anyway. But it's like they already got that foot in the door of getting it into the people and out to the people, because even though the central banks are like, you know, what we're getting away from, it's like what I was just talking about, where we have to be put on even playing fields and people have to be given the free will. And yeah, there's check out that video of mine. I go more detailed. It's called Ripple XRP, the Quantum Financial Reset, and the Great Awakening. It's this video right here. If you scroll down just a little bit. And yeah, I go into that more detail. Berries and cream. All 9,000 taste buds. Vanilla latte. That sounds good. I'm going to have a sip of my coffee. I don't drink coffee very much, but I bought ground organic coffee recently, and I've been doing cacao, but I tried coffee again, and it's a little intense. It's like after having cacao every morning instead of coffee and then going back to coffee, I had to make it really weak because the caffeine was so strong and I was just getting like crazy jitters. Yeah, Earthworth says we can't go directly to no banks without transitioning. It's like, yeah, it has to be a transition, and that's where the smoothness I'm talking about is coming into play. And it just started snowing again. I'm looking at the most beautiful snowfall. Oh, I love it. Yeah, free will is so important. We can't just remove them from the equation without giving. It's like what 17 said. We have to. The people have to be shown, not told, the truth. They have to be shown the truth. I've been tellers talked into cryptocurrency consciousness sometimes. It's so interesting. Yeah, I've heard people talk about that. I've only seen one of his videos where he talked about crypto, and he was talking about how the different names are often coming from different planetary systems. And that's something I totally vibe with. Like, I think that I feel really like intuitively that this blockchain space and the blockchain technology was seeded here by galactic consciousness, through into the minds of people, where whoever made Bitcoin probably had this information downloaded into their head. Just like the Lava One talks about, nuclear technology was seeded into mankind, and then dark and light of humans took it in different directions. They obviously made the nuclear bomb with that, but it was seeded as a positive thing. And I think crypto is kind of similar, where it's like it was seeded here, and then Bitcoin is how it was seeded, but then the dark took over Bitcoin. But it's like that was the plan the whole time. And it's like, I think David Schwartz, who created XRP, is likely Satoshi, who created Bitcoin. And the fact that he, oh, you guys, oh, get this. Okay, this is huge. So just to go on a side tangent, and I'm probably going to totally forget what I was talking about before, but this is important. So I saw in my group of people that I talk with online, we assemble research and stuff, someone posted, and I don't know if this is 100% true, so take this with a grain of salt, but someone posted the IP addresses for the initial location for where Bitcoin was created and the initial location for where the XRP ledger was created. And they both were in right outside of Phoenix, Arizona. And there's a lot of synchronicities with things that are happening in the Phoenix, Arizona area concerning the NSA and other 17 related stuff. But just even within itself, the fact that Bitcoin and Ripple were created, I don't know if it was the same exact IP. I think it might have been, but it was the same like city. And then apparently David Schwartz lives in Arizona too. So, you know, I often call David like the kind of the Trump of the XRP community in a way, because that's kind of the energy that he resembles. And he's one of the top cryptographers in the world and worked for the NSA. And, you know, there's another cryptography project that we talk about a lot that goes by 17, and I feel like they could be related. So it's very fascinating. Yeah, I totally forgot what I was talking about before that tangent, like I guessed. So, okay, finish up comments here, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Oh, I was talking about the planets and the names. So so I feel like that the blockchain technology that was seeded here is like it's like our car keys to the interstellar highway of international trade and commerce, interplanetary trade and commerce, which is something a lot of the secret space program guys talk about. Like on Journey to Truth, if you guys watch them, they have their secret space program month, and a lot of those guys like Tony talked about the interstellar trade and how there's literally like these trade markets set up throughout the solar system and throughout the galaxy, and there's international markets where people trade technology and different kinds of money and value, and I think blockchain is an integral part of that. And so what Ivan was saying is a lot of these cryptocurrency names come from the names of the planets that they're from. And if you look at just a lot of the names like Cardano and IOTA and even Ethereum and Algorand and you know, Stellar, and like there's just a lot of names that are very like Star Wars kind of sounding. You're eating a watermelon right now? That sounds really good. I've got a pear, but not a watermelon. Claudette wins. Oh, somebody told me about the quantum businessman. Okay, I gotta check that guy out. Pleroma? Am I saying that right? Pleroma said, "Oh, that reminds me. In a recent vid, the quantum businessman mentioned channeling the consciousness of crypto. He only mentioned that Bitcoin considered itself to be the king of all cryptos." Yeah, I totally. That makes sense. Like when I tap into it, that's what it feels like. It's like, well, I think it's a neutral technology, like I've said, but it's like it has this collective consciousness that's been almost programmed into it. And that one is that it's like the one ring to rule them all, or like the king crypto. That's totally the vibe. The king is going to be dethroned. So speaking of the king being dethroned, that's a good segue to talking about these glitches. I'm just finishing up the comments. I have a friend in NYC who is one of the top namers in advertising and the like, so the naming thing always interests me. Interesting. That's cool. Yeah, just go to, any of you guys, go to coinmarketcap.com and just look at the names of the cryptos, like Litecoin, Theta, Terra, Luna, Ave, Cosmos, Solana, EOS, IOTA, Tron, Neo, Algorand, Huobi, Dai. There's also the DAO, Synthetics. Ugh, bad vibes from that one. Polygon, Engine. Yeah, a lot of interesting names. So let's talk about glitches and the potential fall of the king, the crypto king of Bitcoin. Now, I've talked about the glitches here on this channel before, but just to catch you guys up, over the years, there have been many glitches, particularly with XRP, on these cryptocurrency exchanges, where the price of XRP will glitch. And when I say glitch, I mean there's a sudden moment where the price increases to an insane amount and then comes back down really quick. So they're just calling it a glitch because it's the best word that people who don't know what's going on can prescribe to it. But like Dr. Shiva said in the Arizona hearings, there's no such thing as a glitch. Glitches are always some kind of human inputted response. And so these XRP glitches have been taking the price from, 20, 30, 40, 50 cents up to thousands, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000. This week, at least twice, it glitched to $51,000 a coin. From 44 cents to $50,000, it glitched. And it happened twice this week. So like crazy, right? Like it's, I feel like the dam is breaking. I think my two likely theories for what we're seeing is, one, it seems like there might be a private version of like these XRP cloned ledgers that we talked about that the central banks are testing. If they're putting massive amounts of central bank money through that cloned ledger, maybe there's a potential that there's some kind of connection between the original ledger, the public one, and the central bank one, and it's like leaking over. Like I just keep picturing this dam, and it's like the dam is like ready to explode, and the dam is about to, I mean, that's like a symbology that we've all been, I feel like, feeling for years now around this whole thing. Like the dam is about to break, and I feel like for XRP, that's that's kind of what's happening. It's like all this liquidity, all this money, all this value is like waiting to come onto the public ledger, and for reasons I think they're keeping it at a low price because it's free will. They're allowing anybody who still has the opportunity and is being guided here to get in on this opportunity. It's like the arc, in my opinion, one of the arcs, but a big arc. And yeah, it's like the dam is about to break. And then in a more literal sense, I just realized that's really synchronistic because the location in China where 85% or more of the mining is conducted for Bitcoin is at the base of I think it's called the Three Gorges Dam. So literally, we could see, and this dam has been cracking lately. Here it is. The Three Gorges Dam. It's been cracking in the recent months, literally cracking. And I believe it's the biggest dam in the world. I think it's the biggest man-made structure in the world, if I'm not wrong. And so the dam symbology has been so intense. Like Alexis and I were getting that too, that like even in an ecological, biological sense, the dams are going to have to come down in the future. Like we as a civilization will opt to take these dams down because it's going to restore vitality and energy to the planet. And there's all this life force that has been choked dry because of these dams, these man-made dams. And so, I mean, what we could literally see is the physical dam breaking, flooding the city, destroying the Bitcoin miners' rigs, sending the price of Bitcoin plummeting, sending the market plummeting, sending the liquidity to XRP. And it would literally be the completion of the metaphorical dam and the physical dam breaking. Ooh, I'm blowing my own mind. This is crazy. Three Gorges has really bad energy to me, says Claudette. Yeah, it's like totally a DS, cabal, military, life force draining power sucker. Earthward says, yeah, that particular dam is not on its last leg, but one of the last legs. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I keep seeing stories like every week that they're finding new cracks and swells and all this stuff in it. And I was like, oh, the dam is breaking. The dam. Sorry, Jace, but having to pay people to care about the future of our country vote makes me very sad about our citizenry. Okay, so it's not having to pay people. It's creating this new form of universal basic income where it's not coming from like taxes and coming from people who are working hard, but it's literally just the kind of basic necessities that people are provided. So kind of the virtues of socialism in a way, but in the pure forms without all the like terrible, obviously, things about socialism and communism, but the virtues in the sense that as a 5D New Earth type civilization, we should have our basics covered. Like we should be looking out for each other as a community. And obviously the DS, the Cabal, wants to take us in the direction of needing them to give us that. But it's not, we're not going to be getting it from the government. It's going to be coming from ourselves, our self-governance. And, you know, if we get paid to vote, like that's great. I think that's a great thing. It not only incentivizes people to be a part of the system, but it gives people who are active and do have this natural care, it rewards them, which is great because that's what we need. Like we need that kind of universal basic income, but not coming from the government, not coming from this authority that is like controlling us and manipulating us by giving us a little bit of their giant paycheck every month. Saw a documentary on beaver homes on Netflix. Was the best damn movie I've ever seen. Oh, damn. That's a good one. Okay. So, yeah, let's talk about these glitches again. So, twice this week, $50,000 glitch. Apparently, I can't confirm this. I don't know if this was this week with Bitcoin, but I have seen screenshots and stuff of glitches like this where Bitcoin went to zero and then, you know, instantly, like this is happening within like seconds usually that they pop up. And so one of the theories I said was the cloned ledger and that the dam is breaking and coming over. And the other thing could be that that they're stress testing the system and that they are preparing. Well, one, they're communicating to people who are watching like us, hey, this is coming, get ready. But two, they're stress testing the system potentially and making sure that it's going to be able to hold that amount of value and liquidity moving through it. Because like one of the scenarios we've talked about is that overnight giant green candle like this guy where potentially, you know, big stock market crash, all the liquidity is moved out of the traditional market and moved into XRP and other projects that are set up to be the financial system that are already ready and just waiting to go, have the flip switched. But that's where I'm saying I feel intuitively like we're on a more harmonic timeline where we won't need the big crash and maybe the big candle won't be overnight, but it'll be more gradual and allow more people to get in. But I still kind of get this feeling there is going to be like a big green candle moment overnight, but who knows how it'll play out. Amy said, ladies and gentlemen, my husband, the daddiest of the dad jokes. So, in addition to that, another glitch happened this week, and this was reported by a lot of people, but even Crypto Whale, who's a big page on Twitter, assumably a whale, which is the term for someone that has like millions of dollars in cryptocurrency. Really cool page, by the way. Like the vibes from this page are really good. I don't know if they're an actual whale. I assume they are. Trading and mining Bitcoin since 2013, but they've got these really like magical, cosmic whale vibes. Like even the colors they're just nice. It's got a good vibe, whoever it is. Anyway, Bitcoin dethroned by mysterious new cryptocurrency that has $100 quadrillion market cap. Wow. So this glitch happened, which a lot of people saw, took screenshots of, where this random coin I've never heard of called the Flow coin all of a sudden got a market cap of 100 quadrillion. 100 quadrillion. That's compared to Bitcoin's very fresh $1 trillion market cap. And again, market cap is how much money in US dollars is actually being held in these currencies. So what is that? Is that like, I don't know, what do you guys think? Is that a glitch? Is there such thing as a glitch? Is Dr. Shiva wrong about glitches? He's a pretty smart guy. He went to MIT and he has like 4 PhDs or something, and he says there's no such thing as a glitch. He's not talking about these, obviously, but it's very synchronistic. Now, obviously, like, I guess, I don't know, this doesn't feel as genuine to me. It doesn't feel like the XRP glitches. This feels like somebody actually went in and like did this as like maybe a joke or something. But I don't know. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. And a lot of people are thinking that this is like getting people hyped up for what could happen. Like, imagine, okay, well, let's take a tangible thing, for instance. Let's look at this new Hoj coin that people are talking about, which a friend of mine bought into really cheap, and literally within a month, it's got 35,000% gains in a month. Let's do 1 month. I don't know why that thing's being weird. But yeah, 35,000% gains in the past month. Today it's down 60%, but it was like going crazy. And it's a good omen, I think. It's a good like sign from spirit and from everything that this is coming for the coins that actually have purpose and utility. So Hoj is advertised as being Doge with DeFi capability, which is essentially what FDoge is going to be on the Flare network, except it'll actually be Doge. So imagine what FDoge is going to do and what Flare networks is going to do if this coin took off to that extent. Now, a lot of times with these giant coins that, you know, or giant increases in brand new coins that go up like tens of thousands of percent, they'll have a giant crash. But maybe this one won't. Maybe it'll keep going. Who knows? I'm not buying any because I think it's like way overinflated at this point. Obviously, like 35,000% up in a month. But now imagine that same energy, but being applied to something like XRP, where it actually has the utility and function rather than just being a meme. And it's like the energy is so ready. It's just the suppression lid on it needs to come off. And, you know, obviously XRP price is being suppressed for several different reasons. I actually think suppressed by white hats, mainly because they're trying to let people get on the arc as long as possible. But XRP is still one of the only coins that hasn't reached all-time highs yet this year. So it's pretty crazy. And so, yeah, that glitch is just another sign that I think, whatever that is. And, oh, yeah, this is the best part. The total market cap for all crypto at that point was 1.7. Is that quadrillion? Let's see. 100,000 million, billion, trillion. $1.7 trillion market cap. Oh, I guess that's normal. Huh? That does seem like it's the normal one. Or is that just for the coin? Now I'm confusing myself. Oh, no. Market cap for the entire market. Hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, trillions. 1.7 trillion. But anyway, the 17 number is what I was kind of getting at there. That was the total market cap. But I would think that it would be up. If this is 110 quadrillion, then maybe this was after the glitch went away or something. Anyways, somebody says, glitches could be test transactions, central banks moving through the ledger. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It seems, dude, man says, it seems like you're making some wild guesses here. Well, yeah. That's why I call them theories. But I show the facts, I show what's happening, and then I talk about my theories. Dude, man. Dude, man. It's all a conspiracy, 12D chess, man. Dude, man. I love your name. That's great. Okay, let's talk about Palantir. Oh wait, somebody says something about Charlie Ward. Charlie Ward says QFS is a new type of coin. Could it be the new QFS? Well, I don't know Charlie very well. I only have seen one video of his, and it was the other day someone sent me where he was talking about XRP from like a couple months ago. And I guess he's been talking about XRP for a couple years now. And yeah, I'm just not familiar with his work. But the new coin, that's what I've been calling it, the quantum financial system. And I think the quantum financial system will be it's this whole thing. It's like everything I'm talking about. It's not going to be, I don't believe it'll be one coin or one thing like just gold or just XRP or just Flare or anything like that. It's going to be an ecosystem, a flourishing network of a torus field that works together. That's the future, I believe. And that's the quantum financial system. Now, XRP, I think, will be like one of the central organs for that. But it's not going to be the one coin to rule them all, which is kind of what Bitcoin is trying to be. Like someone brought up earlier, it has that king of all crypto vibe to it. It's like Elon Musk even posted Bitcoin with a meme that said the one coin to rule them all. And then in the background, XRP was actually at the top of the list of coins. But yeah, that's the difference. XRP and the quantum financial system, in my understanding of it, are going to be part of a large ecosystem of many different currencies that are going to work together very well versus having one currency that does everything, like Libra is trying to do, like Bitcoin is trying to do, like even Ethereum to a degree. But Ethereum is a little more like plays well with others. That's my take on it. Rage says, can you explain Flare networks again and how do you earn interest? I don't know where my crypto should sit or why. So with DeFi in general, there's the concept of staking, which you can really do on any DeFi network and in proof of stake networks where you take your coins and you stake them on the network, which is individual. The process is individual to that network and you make a yield off that. So with Flare, there are like a bunch of different ways that you can do that with both Flare networks and Flare finance. Like with the Spark token, just by holding it and voting with the governance, they reward you with more Spark. If you mint your XRP into FXRP, that's another way to make money, or Doge to FDoge to one of their F assets. Just by holding that asset as an F asset, you make money. If you put your Spark up for collateral for that transition, that minting, it requires Spark as collateral. You can make money from that. You're basically like a collateral agent. On Flare Finance, you can do yield farming where you take you can stake into liquidity pools and then do yield farming to earn YFIN, which is one of their tokens on the network, and that's another passive income. So there's a lot of different opportunities. Dude Man says Bitcoin and Ethereum are completely different coins, different uses. There will always be many useful coins. Yeah, totally agree. Yeah. It's like that's what I'm getting at with the ecosystem. It's like there will be an ecosystem of things, but Bitcoin, obviously Bitcoin doesn't have an agenda by itself because there's no company, but the primary controller of the energy of Bitcoin, which is the Chinese Communist Party, they have an agenda, obviously, and I believe that they saw Bitcoin as a threat, and now they're trying to take it over and probably trying to figure out a way to use it to their advantage and, capital gains. There's a lot of market manipulation with Bitcoin. Please go back up in the questions. There are some questions I would like to have you answer to, Dennis. Can you just, would you be willing to post it again? Yeah, sorry guys, I miss a lot of comments because they go by so fast. Hey, 44 people. That's a good number. Welcome everyone here. Okay, so Palantir was the next big thing I was going to get into. I want to see if there's any last minute questions about this stuff. Yeah, I'll just start getting into it and then we can come back and answer some of those questions. So Palantir, man, this is a huge rabbit hole within itself. So Palantir is a company which derived its name from this Palantir, which is a fictional magical artifact in Lord of the Rings. It's the crystal ball that they use to see the future. And, you know, right off the bat, that tells you a lot. And Palantir is a data collection company. It's hard to pinpoint exactly what they do, but there's a Forbes article, which I wish I had pulled up, that explains it really well. Let's see if I can find it. Essentially, Forbes even kind of outs them and explains how they've been this cryptic kind of occult. They even describe it as being a cult, or something like a cult, esoteric, I think they said. Here we go. I think this is it. Palantir, IPO deep dive analysis. The Economist was correct when it recently stated that Palantir is more than a technological project. It is a philosophical, even political one. Palantir has a mythical and esoteric reputation in the Bay Area. The name is well known, and what the company does has circulated for years, which in a nutshell is data mining for the government and now commercial clients. Until recently, a customer list and any level of transparency has gone against the core purpose of the company. Therefore, I was somewhat surprised at the leak in 2018 that Palantir was considering a public offering, as it seemed the company would operate openly and transparently. In fact, about 5 years earlier, the CEO had said that an IPO, initial public offering, was unlikely, as it would make running a company like ours very difficult. So they are a data collection company whose main customer is the intelligence agencies, the CIA, I think the NSA, and now private commercial companies as well. But what they're describing sounds a lot like the Looking Glass technology. They're a data collection company, but they don't really describe how they collect their data. It's very cryptic. They're named after this looking glass type of device, the Palantir, the crystal ball to see the future. And soon after they were created, they had all these like groups, these intelligence agencies and various groups that were very interested in them and what they had to offer. So I'm not saying this as a fact, of course, not at all, but it feels like it could be connected to the looking glass technology. And that would make things very, very fascinating. So one of the, here, listen to this. This Forbes article is very fascinating because they touch on a lot of what would typically be considered conspiracy theories in the mainstream media, but they're like discussing it. And I think they are because, one of the things they talk about is how Palantir, I don't remember if it was Palantir directly or if it was the people at Palantir, but they donated to the Trump admin. So it says Palantir can neither confirm nor deny if the software was used to kill Osama bin Laden, but the CEO required a bodyguard as of 2013, and it was generally understood for about a decade that Palantir had only one customer, the CIA, and then 3 customers, the CIA, FBI, and the NSA. And so, yeah, they're talking about how potentially it was used to kill Osama bin Laden. Of course, you know, a lot of us know that a lot of that was made up and was an act in a movie. And of course, there's been a lot of information coming out around that SEAL team and from who is it, Alan Perot. Haven't heard from him in a while, but remember that was all leaking like a couple months ago, right before the election. And they're a very interesting group. Just the more I look into them, the more I find interesting. This is the CEO. This guy looks like the Riddler from Batman, and he looks like almost like a time traveler, just like his aesthetic. They're a very fascinating company. Oh, InQtel is one of the venture firms that invested in Palantir. InQtel. And that's, I'm pretty sure, one of the quantum computer projects. This group has funded many projects, including Google Maps, GitLab, Pure Storage, CloudEye, FireEye. Okay, so one of the big investors for Palantir is Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel is one of the founders of PayPal. This guy. And he's connected to XRP, I believe. Yeah, he donated to Donald Trump. It says right here. Through the Thiel Foundation, Thiel governs the grant-making bodies, breakout labs, and Thiel Fellowship, and funds nonprofit research into artificial intelligence, life extension, and seasteading. I'm totally blanking on what his connection is to XRP, but I think he like donated to Ripple. Huh. Nothing that's coming up on the search. I'll have to get back to you guys on that, but this whole Palantir rabbit hole is very interesting, and I thought you guys would find that interesting. Have you guys heard of it, Palantir? Does it ring any bells? Getting back to the comments now. So Dude Man says, Bitcoin has lost the original reason for its creation. It's expensive and slow. Bitcoin Cash has much more use for a currency. John says, I strongly feel Bitcoin will see a drop of 30 to 50% within months, if not weeks. Palantir has a strong retail trader following, just coming back now from a large sell-off. And I agree that Bitcoin will likely see something like that. Yeah, so Palantir does have an IPO now, I think. I didn't actually look into if it was fully public yet. Yeah, I guess it is. $26 a share. But interesting that, you know, for a private company that has this advanced technology that could be connected to Looking Glass and things of the like, and now they're a public company that you can invest in publicly. It's very interesting. I don't get the same kind of bad, like metallic-y Android vibes that I get from Hedera. I don't feel that from Palantir, but I'm still keeping my discerning cap on. But lots of occult things around them. I'm excited to dive deeper into that. Did anyone cash out on the glitches? What about Doge? That is a great question. I don't know if they were able to be cashed out. I do wonder, like, if you had a limit order for, like, I don't know, if $1,000 XRP and then it did that, if it would actually trigger it. I kind of feel like no, though, because I think I would have heard about it if someone had done that. Was that the only question you had, Dennis, from earlier? Zen God's latest vid gives a deep dive on Palantir. Yeah, go check out his video from, I think, last night. Okay, I'm going to have to speed up things a little bit because we're an hour and 20 in, so I can do about 40 more minutes max before we got to head out here. So let's jump into, let's just talk about the samurai stuff. So there's not a ton, like, I don't have like a ton of links to show you with this or anything, but Here's just some pictures of samurai, so you can look at them while we talk about samurai. I've been getting a ton of samurai synchronicities over the past weeks, and it seems to me like they have to do with like the white hat, black hat thing, just to be blunt about it. I'm seeing in the public sphere multiple groups, which I associate with being white hats, talking about samurai and samurai energy. And it's like this, I don't know if it's this agreed upon code language that they're talking about, or if this is just like a collective consciousness thing with the samurai and the energy behind the samurai. But I think one of the first things was, well, Flare Finance and their samurai, that's like their biggest symbolism is the samurai. And their NFTs that they're releasing for this beta are samurai NFTs. And they've been doing all this samurai art and samurai advertising. They call it the DeFi samurai. And shortly after that, I think it was at CPAC where there was it might not have been a CPAC. It was one of those events that there was a Japanese guy and he was talking about samurai and the way of the samurai. And he was talking about how Trump was a samurai and how he was taking on essentially the cabal. And I was like, whoa, there's some code language there. Samurai. And then I started seeing it pop up everywhere. And then Zen God actually talked about this video and part of a larger theme that he found where the samurai were actually against the, I guess like the Zionists is what it seems like. Now they said the Jews in the video I saw, but what they were describing was the Zionist. There's a little bit of a language barrier, but they weren't talking about like the common person. They were talking about the elite, the financial elite and the occult elite behind like Zionism and all that. And I was like, whoa, okay. So samurais, like there's a samurai talking about from decades ago in this video, how traditionally like hundreds, maybe even thousands, no, hundreds probably, hundreds of years ago that like the samurais were against this control system set up by this group of people, the Zionists. And I'm like, whoa, okay, is that what's going on here? Is that the connection between all these? That this is the white hat, like 17 said, like save Israel for last. And now there's all the symbolism around samurais coming out and they're like taking on the Zionist, like the end of the cabal. I don't know. That's like the vibe I was getting. Does that resonate at all with you guys? Have you been getting any kind of samurai synchros? Maybe some stuff will start popping in now. Brad says Tomorrow World is a great kids movie about Looking Glass tech. Tomorrow World, is that the Disney one? Tomorrowland? Am I thinking of something different? Galactivation says Palantir name comes from Lord of the Rings, so that's pretty cool within itself. Yeah, and it's literally the Looking Glass in Lord of the Rings, like their magic crystal ball, see the future. Brad says I literally had a dream I was in an intense sword battle like a week or two ago. Dang. That's intense. It was CPAC, says Earthworth. Cool. I wish I had pulled up that video, but I was a little little unprepared this morning with the links and stuff. But maybe I'll pull it up next video, next live stream, if I remember. New Mortal Kombat movies coming out very soon. Is that samurai related? There's samurai in there, right? I was typing the word connection as he said the word connection. That didn't F me up at all. Swords drawn, synchros. I just wrote swords drawn. See how this works? That's funny. Wow. Synchros. Samurai. Yeah, so keep on the lookout for the samurai synchronicities in various geopolitical aspects. It seems like there's something, but maybe this is just divine synchronicity, playing out. Let's talk about Southparq. I was going to pull up the actual episode, but I didn't want to get flagged for copyright. So we'll just show pictures. But oh my gosh, Southparq was nuts. I watched it twice. It wasn't like the best South Park episode ever, like comedy wise, but it had so many nuggets and seeds of information in it, and I'm gonna go over a couple of the core ones. Samurai shamans, says Rage. Yes, I love that. That's epic. Samurai shamans. I'm gonna write that down. So Southparq. Okay, maybe if you guys have seen it, put a 1 in the chat. If you haven't seen it, put a 2 in the chat. That way I know, spoilers wise, what I can talk about, what I can't talk about. Or I should say, if you don't care about spoilers, put a 1. If you care about spoilers, like you haven't seen it, put a 2. Samurai shamans. I'm totally writing that down. I think I'm going to make a shirt about that. Oh, speaking of shirts, that's what I forgot about. Okay, real quick, before Southparq. Alexis made these awesome new shirts on our website with a samurai. These are 100% organic cotton long sleeve t-shirts. They also are available in different designs. But I made it my business is the word magic here. Samurai shamans. Okay, I feel like I want to put that on a shirt too. That's a great thing. So I made it my business, and it was good, is what it says with the samurai. So this is kind of like oh, it looks like everyone's cool with spoiling for the most part. Okay, for the people that don't want spoiling, I'll let you know right before the spoilers come, and then you can just mute it or tune out for a couple minutes. So I made it my business, and it was good. Alexis made this, and it's basically like embodying the energy of, it's kind of double meaning. It's like I made it my business, like getting into things that you care about in a non-actual business way, but just like making things your business, making things that have been traditionally suppressed or hidden from us our business, and becoming the embodied warrior. Make it your business, right? Like the healing of the planet, the crimes that have been hidden from us, like everything that, say, the elite don't want us to be talking about. Let's make it our business, and let's put it out there. But it's also like, I made it my business, like literally, like take your passion and make it your business. Take the thing that you care about and make it your literal business and flourish with that. And so kind of double meaning with samurai, and it was good. So if you want that, the link for that is in the description down below. And then if you're not so much into the samurai, but you like the name or the words, there's a kind of a more divine feminine version with a cosmic divine feminine starry haired woman that says, I made it my business and it was good. So yes, I'm going to be getting one of these very soon, probably today. Just love the samurai. But yeah, link in the description. Oh, good, Alexis. I'm glad you like my explanation. For the masses. All right. It looks like most people gave 1s. So let's talk about Southparq. So there were... I won't give too many spoilers. I'll only touch on a couple things. I won't give like the main plot away. So if you haven't seen it, you can still listen. But essentially, they were making fun of this, but they make fun of everything that they put out there. And a lot of things, they put truth in very plain sight and make fun of it. So it's kind of an honor, I think, to have something like this being made fun of on Southparq. It's like a badge of honor. But yes, that shirt does say little cuties, and Q was a huge part of the episode. And the episode was called Southparq with a Q instead of with a K at the end. They literally did that. And so the premise is basically like everyone wants the vaccines, and then they basically play out what happened with Trump, not being president anymore, and then the Q people feeling like left out and that they like needed to do something, and then they had a fake decoding where they had the whole like conspiracy theory board, and they were like getting into these deeper concepts and actually exposing them and consciously seeding people. So there was one scene where the Q conspiracy guy, whose name was Mr. White, which is pretty funny, was breaking down like adrenochrome and torture and like all this stuff that, you know, I don't particularly want to get into the details of for both censorship and just because it's been talked about enough. But it seeded it for the people who maybe have not totally integrated this information. And they literally showed pictures, animated pictures of Oprah drinking blood, kids' blood, of Ellen, I think doing the same thing, of Hillary and Bill Clinton, and of Obama, all like essentially doing really effed up stuff to kids. They animated it and they showed it, which was a little disturbing to see, to be honest. Like, even though it's a cartoon, they still put that out there, but it's like they did it in a way that was desensitizing, that now that seed is actually in people's consciousness who might, you know, would have never traditionally been open to that. So, yeah, I'll get into a little more if I think, like, what I think the creators of it, where their role is in all this. But yeah, Alexa says there was there were the two kid gangs. There was the little cuties, and then there was the community kids with a K and a K. So it was kind of like the KKK versus the Q people, which was, you know, another like little consciousness seed, like, oh, the white supremacists against the Q people. Yeah, that's actually how the elite work. You know, the elite, the white supremacists that the left think are the Trump supporters are actually the elite that are funding all this stuff. And it's not a race thing. It's just they have control and power. But they, you know, they touched on that. And then okay, a little more of a spoiler here. They went into essentially Trey and Matt, the creators, what their role was in all this, and if they were guilty or if they're trying to expose it. And basically, in the thing, when the Q guy is trying to expose the agenda of the elite, the creators of the show they break the fourth wall and they start messing with the animation, and they like are making it so that the one guy, the Q guy, is like trying to get to like this place to warn everybody that something's going to happen, and then they like they have the animators like animate him in real time and like take away his body and like change everything and then put them in like Antarctica so they can't go tell everyone the truth, and like literally trying to stop them from telling people the truth. And then there were multiple scenes where like the Q people were about to tell like the biggest secret. They're like, but the biggest secret the elite don't want you to know is, and then every time they cut to like the next scene, some random thing. So it was like they kept amping people up, but giving it credibility. And they'd be like, the people who make the show, they don't want you to know, and then cut to the next scene, like actually validating it. And then at the end, like Mr. Garrison, who's supposed to be Trump, ends up like basically giving in to the system and being like, I don't care if the creators, you know, Trey and Matt, I don't care if you're pedos and if you abuse children and all this, I just want my normal life back. And so they like gave him his normal life back, and he's like, at the very end, he's like, says something like, thanks a lot, you child abusing pedos or something like that, referring to the creators. And then it like ends. So it kind of makes it obvious in a way that they have been a part of this stuff, but it's like they're also trying to expose it. And there were also kind of codes in there about like deals being made that kind of might have referred to them making deals, you know, like a lot of deals have been made, 17 talked about. So a lot of that coded stuff. So definitely recommend you watch it if you haven't seen it, but you probably have seen it if you're still here listening. So yeah, what was your favorite part if you guys have seen it? Was there anything else major I was missing? Oh, there's the plaid. So plaid keeps coming up as a synchro, and then one of the 17 people was wearing plaid, but then they ended up like killing her, which was really weird. And yeah, it was just kind of weird. Oh, here's the other thing. So in the scene where they're showing the conspiracy board and they have like Ellen and Obama and the Clintons, this picture is on the board. And this is from their, I don't know if it's their first movie, but this is Trey and Matt, who are the creators of Southparq. and it's one of their older movies. But you notice it says 17. And they literally put that in the show on the Q thing, like 17. And then other people pointed out that the ball is actually the XRP logo, which, you know, that could be total synchronicity. That could be, yeah, like, I don't know. I'm leaning more towards pure synchronicity than it was actually a planned thing. But like, that's the XRP logo on the ball right there. That, you know, that X that doesn't connect, that looks like that. And on both balls, like, it kind of cuts off the lower one, but in the bigger picture, they're both facing that same angle to give that appearance. Whereas if the ball was at a different angle, you would see a different image, right? So I thought that was interesting connection. Trey Parker and Matt Stone are agents of light. I really hope so. I don't really have an opinion one way or another. Like that's more of what I took away from this episode, that they were trying to expose it, but they almost kind of convicted themselves in a way, or like admitted guilt a little bit. I don't know. That's kind of what I took away from it. Like, maybe they had been a part of this stuff in the past, but now they were working to expose it. Or they just know a lot because they're in the know, and yeah. Wearing plaid in my life today to commemorate the woman they killed in Southparq, says Alexis. So yeah, a reminder that right after this live stream, in about 20-30 minutes, Alexis, my wife of Ascension Diaries, she's going to be jumping on her live stream for Ceremony Saturdays, is what she's calling it, which is awesome. So when we're done here, if you are around, you can jump over there. The Samurai Futurologist advert was so cool. Are you referring to Futurologist advert? What are you talking about? Are you talking about the CPAC thing? They put this literal photo in amongst the pictures of Hollywood elite on the conspirators' crime data board. Yeah, like this literal photo. They just put it there, like in between, like it was like Obama and the Clintons or something. And with the 17, 417, 417. I don't know. And 417, I just thought of that. That's a number I see a lot too, like synchronistically, like on the clock and stuff. 417. Pretty interesting. All right, y'all. Well, that's about all I had for this show. If you got any last minute questions, drop them in the chat. Thanks for being here, everyone. I'm gonna burn a little bit more chaparral as we close the energy out here. So this, yeah, to talk about the sessions again, for those that are interested, I'm doing one-on-one crypto coaching sessions for people that, mainly for people that are new to the space and need assistance in getting their initial funds and accounts set up. Like if you just need crypto 101, how to buy, where to store, how to send. I'm doing donation-based one-on-one coaching where you can donate via crypto, and I will show you how to do that. And that's kind of like the passing of the test for step one. And so I did that with like 10-ish people last week, and they all went great. And like most of the time we, went a little bit over time anyway, just because it was like we were having a great chat. And a couple of people have signed up again for next week and the coming weeks. But right now, I think I've mostly got everybody taken care of. There's 1 or 2 people in my email still that I haven't responded to. I will get back to you very soon. And drop me an email or a message in one of my social medias if you are interested in being a part of that. And I'm also, I think, going to be creating a class maybe. I keep feeling called to that, to creating a crypto class and maybe like a support group. I already have a sort of a crypto type group, my Cosmic Origins group. We talk a lot about crypto and cosmic crypto and the implications and everything. So that is a Telegram. Actually, I think the link is down below, but let's see if this works. Here are my links. Telegram Cosmic Origin channel. Not technically a link, but if you type that in, it'll come up on Telegram. And then the chat is the group chat, so we've got both. And then Instagram, you can find me at jstaface. And if you'd like to donate, you can donate via PayPal or via crypto to keep the show going here and support me and my family. So yeah, thank you all again for hanging out. The best Saturday, Alexis. Next, and then Z Earthstar. Yes, we love Z. Z is a great friend of ours. Thank you for reminding me of that. Okay, Alexis is telling me to stall for a little bit, so I'm gonna stall for a little bit longer. Even though it doesn't need to be totally a smooth transition from me to you. They are separate channels, but she's getting set up over there. But we'll stall for a little bit more just to keep the energy going. That Samurai Futurologist advert was so cool. Did I already read that one? Samurai CPAC fella. Yeah. I gotta go watch that again too, because I only saw it once, but it like blew my mind. I was like, oh my god, called Trump a samurai, and then all the samurai stuff, and I'm like, it's literally like the symbolism it seems like they're using to do this spiritual war, the samurai. Joyful, I sent an email for consultation. Thank you. Awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming, everybody. Talk about Antarctica. Oh, is that because that's what's behind me? I'm in Antarctica. I'm wearing short sleeves in Antarctica. It's not very smart. Should be wearing a jacket. Well, Antarctica. That's a good way to stall a couple minutes of time. I think we're going to be learning a lot more about Antarctica in the coming years. And yeah, that there's a lot down there. There's a lot of hidden technology and history and information and knowledge hidden in Antarctica. There's pyramids down there. There's crashed ships. There's underground bases. A lot of the military contractors, Lockheed, Boeing, Northrop, they build stuff in Antarctica because, well, international law. They don't have to abide by U.S. law. It's also more secret. A lot of cloning projects going on there, my understanding. This comes from the whistleblowers, obviously. Like, I haven't been there and seen this stuff, but this is the information that I've been learning and researching over the past 5 years or so. And yeah, Antarctica is going to be great. I'm very excited. I actually had a dream about being an explorer in Antarctica in like, it must have been like the 1800s or 1900s. I had a dream that I was like this explorer with my dad, and my dad was like this old man in the dream. It wasn't the same dad I have today. He was like this old sailor guy with a big old beard, and we were like on a big old wooden boat in Antarctica, and we were on like this Admiral Byrd feeling expedition there, and we ended up coming across this alien species of giant squid beings. No joke. Like picture those squid beings in an Arrival movie, but they were white. And I had this dream, I think, before Arrival came out. And they were like these native, very tall, intelligent squid beings that lived in remote parts of Antarctica, I guess. It's like we like stumbled upon this cave and then came across these squid beings. And no joke, they're probably like 30 feet tall. And they were like defending their area, and they were kind of aggressive. So in the dream, we like had to like book it out of there, and it was just like I woke up going, "Oh my god, that was a past life memory," but I haven't really recovered anything more about that. How about email again? It's linked, yeah? Yes, it should be in the description down below. Let me know if it's not, but it should be there. It's divinesovereignbeings@gmail.com. Or you can go to our website, divinesovereignbeings.com, and you can enter in a message there, and it'll email us without having to use your email. You can just enter in the message field. So since cost on is down, is the beta down? That's a great question, Brooke. I only heard about cost on being down during this live. Since I woke up this morning, I haven't checked in with that whole community yet, so it's still news to my ears. I'm a little bit behind, so I'm gonna have to go learn what's going on with that, and I'll come back and I'll probably update in the Telegram group for those that are looking for info on that. Cool. Collectivation found my email. Awesome. How are you doing?
Well, you're 10 minutes early from your
Yeah, but that's okay. It's like,
I know. I'm just saying it's just another 10 minutes between the scheduled time I have started and when you're finishing.
right.
That's all. I'm just saying. There's an opportunity for you to keep going for 10 minutes if you want.
Well, she says I have 10 more minutes if I want to keep going. What can we talk about? Oh, I have a whole phone list of things that I didn't even look at. We'll just go over the highlights of those real quick. Still got 27 people here. We must keep you entertained. I'm just kidding. Let's see. Let me look at my notes. Oh, here's a good one. Flare, the IOU Spark token for Flare on BitTrue, hit $1. Oh my gosh, it hit $1. That's more than XRP. Now, you might be like, what does that mean? I don't care. Crypto. I don't care about crypto. So this is the IOU basically pre-traded Spark token that BitTrue is offering. And it started out really cheap, but when I found it, it was at like 20 cents. And when I was recommending it to friends, when they bought in, it was down here at like the early 20s. And then it just had these crazy boosts where it just kept pumping. And there's only 2 exchanges which provide a Spark IOU. So this is, a lot of people have been asking, like, how can we get Spark token if it's not actually out yet? And this is one possibility. But you're taking a risk because we don't know if the actual price is going to be cheaper when it comes out. And I assume it's going to be cheaper than this, but maybe not, because I didn't think it was going to go up and touch $1, and it went up and it kissed $1 and then came back down, and now it's at 84 cents. So that's big. And then the other exchange that has it is called Poloniex, and it's cheaper on there. It's currently like 20 cents on there, whereas this one's 80 cents. And you might go, well, what's the difference? They're different types of IOU contracts. So, excuse me, when Spark releases their first set of tokens, they're going to be releasing 15% of the total allotment. This is just what they've built and what they're doing. And then, so 15% will be distributed upon network launch, and then 3 to 4% will be distributed. This is to XRP holders who got the airdrop. It's like 2 to 3% every month for the next, like, I think 2 to 3 years. And so the BitTrue IOU is representative of just the initial 15% of the Spark distribution, just the 15%. Which means that when it goes live, they will switch, hypothetically, they'll instantly switch all of this IOU flare to real flare, where it's now the token that you can, say, pull off the network and put somewhere else. At this point, you can only leave it on here because it's an IOU. Now, the Poloniex alternative is cheaper because it is representative of the total Spark distribution rather than the initial 15%. So what that means is that if you have 1,000, say you have 1,000 of each, like you have 1,000 Spark on BitTrue and you have 1,000 Spark on Poloniex. When the network goes live on BitTrue, you'll get all of that 1,000 when it goes live. With Poloniex, you'll only get 15% of that 1,000, and then they'll give you the rest over the next 2 to 3 years when they receive it, because they're not actually getting it until they get it every month when Flare distributes it. So that's the main difference. It's like with BitTrue, you're paying a premium to get it right away, whereas with Poloniex, you're paying cheaper to get it over time. And so I personally bought the Poloniex one at around like 8 to 10 cents, and I was dumb and I was messing around with the trading, and it's like I was giving trading a shot again because I hadn't been trading. I'd just been accumulating. And I was like, well, the Poloniex chart is a nice, clean chart. It's not manipulated like Bitcoin, and it was easy to just trade the highs and the lows. And then it just shot up like one day, and I was like, oh, man, I missed out because I had sold at what I thought was the high. And then it went up like twice as much and did this thing. And so I had to buy back in at a higher price. So that's the risk with trading, is if you sell and then it goes up and then you don't have it anymore and you have to buy back in. And so now I had to buy in at like 16 cents, and now it's at like 20 cents when it was at 8 cents. So it's price discovery, right? It's like when the actual Spark token comes out, it might be worth what these are worth. It might be worth more if the network has been hyped up, like it's getting hyped up every day. New things are being hyped up around Flare. And these price charts are indicative of that demand. And so if it continues to hype up and we get more and more marketing and announcements of what's going to be on Flare and the community is hyped, we could see, like, I don't know, maybe like this kind of price find itself within the first day. So my kind of personal strategy is I bought a little bit on Poloniex. I might buy a little bit more, but I'm going to be really waiting for the second that Spark drops, and I'm going to try to buy it when it's its cheapest, because I assume it's going to launch kind of cheap and then it'll go up probably pretty fast as the demand comes in. And there's going to be big demand not to have your Spark on the exchanges because, like we were talking about earlier, the passive income is only there if you keep your Spark locked up on the network. So if your Spark is for sale on an exchange or you're holding it on an exchange, you're not getting all the utility of the rewards of the network. So the incentive is to take your Spark and put it on the network and not on the exchanges, which means if the demand is going towards the network, that means the exchanges are going to have higher demand for it because people aren't putting it there, which is going to drive the price up. So inherently, there's a system to drive up the price of Spark where people are going to want to put it in the place where they can make more money from it, which is going to make the value of the coin itself rise. So it's pretty crazy. Okay, what time are we at? 1:54. So yeah, that Spark hitting $1, it's like, it was bittersweet for me. It was a good, actually, opportunity to practice one of the things that I try to practice with meditation that the Law of One talks about, which is finding the polarity of emotion with any given situation where you find yourself polarized in an emotional state. So like, I was actually bummed that the price went up because I was like, dang, I wanted to get it low, and now it's looking like it's going to be going up, and I'm not going to be able to get it low, and I was pretty bummed. And then, you know, my higher self or spirit guides came to me and they were like, look, this is a good opportunity to practice that that methodology of when you find yourself in an extremely polarized emotional state, or not even extremely, but a polarized emotional state, it's a good exercise in balance to find the opposite polarized emotion within yourself and neutralize it. And that is like the overcoming of duality. And this was like a good opportunity for me to practice that. So I was like, okay, what's the opposite? The opposite is that I'm really excited because this is really good for the, like what the value could be for this. And that this is a good sign that this is going to be a really attractive, valuable thing for people to want to put their investments into. And so that was like kind of the thing I neutralized my bummed feeling with. And I was like, okay, there's both, right? There's always both light and dark in every situation that we find ourselves in, which is kind of a nice example to bring to end things on here too, that like, you know, I like to talk about these things, and these things can be kind of like dense or more 3D at times. And that's why I like to bring around the spiritual applications and lessons that we find ourselves in doing this kind of 3D stuff. And for me, really diving into this space and looking at charts and doing all this has really like stimulated all these gears turning, where I've like been able to apply certain spiritual concepts as metaphors within the crypto space. Or I should say the crypto space acts as a metaphor for larger spiritual lessons that humanity is going through. And so I'm constantly finding those spiritual lessons and trying to apply them within myself, and like finding metaphors within the charts. Like one example that I use is like the charts going up and down, like the price is kind of analogous to our spiritual energies in any moment, and how we're kind of on this roller coaster of like getting to a place where the energies are more intense and our highs are feeling higher and our lows are feeling lower. And it's like some days we're feeling really good, and that's like akin to the market going up and the euphoria of when the market goes up and everyone's like, yeah. And that's kind of like synonymous with when, you know, maybe the Schumann's blasting and we're feeling really good and the energies are good and we're like, yeah. And then there's the days where it feels more dense and things are down, and that's kind of like the market being down, and all these parallels that I've been able to draw that are really fascinating. Oh, BitTrue. Brooke says she hasn't been able to get verified on BitTrue. So BitTrue, to my understanding, blocks several states. I don't know if it's all 50 states in the US or if it's just regional, but like in my region in Arizona, I can't make an account on their website, but I was able to make an account through their phone app, which I've heard other people do as well. It's some kind of loophole they have. But yeah, if you try through the web browser, it wouldn't even let me sign up. I couldn't even like make an account. But then on the phone, it worked. Kind of weird, but yeah. Another reason why, like, personally, I've been feeling called. I got to get my funds out of BitTrue because and off of exchanges in general, that's a good kind of tip to put out there. It's good time and a good reminder not to keep large amounts, or even, you know, even small amounts, but try to get your money off of the exchanges into a place more sovereign, because I described to a lot of the people I've been having sessions with, when you keep your money on the crypto exchanges, technically they own your money. It's like giving them the keys to your house because you're keeping your money in their wallet. It's really no different than the bank, right? It's like you're letting someone else store your sovereign value for you, and then they get to like dictate sometimes how you use it. And so the best way is to self-custody, be your own bank, get either a hard wallet like a Ledger Nano, which you can get at ledger.com, or Trezor is another one, or you can get a free phone one like the Trust wallet or the Zum wallet, XUMM.
15 seconds.
So yeah, all right, you guys, I'm peace out of here. Head on over to Alexis's channel. Much love, and I'll see you guys at least next Saturday, maybe before. So much love and peace out, everybody.